Gobble gobble. In today's video, we are making cheesy scalloped potatoes for your Thanksgiving side dish. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of More Seasoning. I'm your host, Farnum, and today we're here to turkeys. We are doing these Thanksgiving side dishes. I'm gonna take care of you guys through the whole month. We're gonna do everything. We did butternut squash soup. We're doing the potatoes. We'll do a turkey. We'll do it all. We're gonna do it all, okay? But before we jump into that, please scroll down, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the comments below. I'm always down there like, hey, yo, what's good? Talk to me. What's going on, y'all? But hey, when I say the cheesiest, most flavorful scalloped potatoes you've ever had, and it's stupid easy, I'm not exaggerating. B-roll time, let's go. All right, the ingredients for this recipe are gonna be some russet potatoes, yellow onion, some Italian parsley. I don't know what this accent is though. Colby jack cheese, some stinky ass Gruyere, some extra sharp cheddar, unsalted butter, garlic powder, onion powder, a little smoked paprika, thyme, and you don't need much time to make this recipe. Some Dijon mustard, my dog Frank. I'm using Oatly as a substitute for milk, gardenia magnolia rose hibiscus flour, and the cream cheese. I forgot the cream cheese. All right, so it's prep work time. We're gonna handle all this right now. That way when we put this thing together, it's very simple. Now check me out real quick. Right here, I got a mandolin. When we cut this potato up into the little scalloped potato slices that everybody likes, we can use a knife or we can use a mandolin. Now this is gonna make life a lot easier and it's gonna make your dish a lot more consistent. Not required though. I will link one down below, but we'll save that for the very end. In the meantime, all we're gonna do is we're gonna take our potato, we're gonna cut the top, cut the bottom, and then we're gonna take a peeler and we're just gonna peel this guy. We're gonna strip this potato. That's what we're gonna do. Seasoners, let me show you two things that have made cooking for me in the last 3 months incredibly easy. A bench scraper, I will link one down below. Please, please, please get one of these, because watch, we got all these potato skins, right? Look, all we do without dulling our knife, we could just scoop them all up. And then what I've got now is just a bowl that I consider my trash can. And I just have a little trash can on the counter with me every time I cook now, so I don't have to keep going back to the damn garbage. All right, once we got all our papas peeled, we're going into a little bath right here. Check this out. And the whole reason why we're doing this is because if we leave these out until we're ready to cut them up, they're gonna get brown and oxidize and gross. So we just store them in the water until we're done with our sauce. All right, next we got our onion. This is real easy. We can run it real time. Look, bottom comes off, top comes off, then we're gonna cut it in half. Then you see the skin on the outside? It's like my skin that's stuck in my frying pan from when I burnt my fingers, okay? We're gonna take it off. That's what we're doing right now. This right here is a blade for my mandolin, okay? Very, very sharp. So if you're using a mandolin, I want you to think of this as a razor blade because in essence, that's what it is. So you need to be careful of your fingers, okay? We don't wanna run our fingers across there accidentally. So basically all we're gonna do is we're gonna take our onion, and I've got this on a very, very thin setting because basically what I want is some paper thin onions. I want these onions to be very delicate, very small. That way when we put them into the casserole or the scalloped potatoes, they just kind of blend in with everything. So we're gonna shred this up. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a lot of onion here, a lot of surface area, and a lot of sting. My eyes are stinging, and this is gonna add a lot of sharp bite to our scalloped potatoes, and we don't necessarily want that. We want that sweetness from the onions. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these onions, I'm just gonna drop them in water until we use them later. Now, regardless of whether you wanna use the water or not, because you're like,
oh, the water's gonna soak in the onions, you're gonna have to squeeze them out.
Look guys, like you're gonna have to squeeze the onions out regardless, so let's just dull them down. Okay, so now we've got some Italian parsley, and you know the vibe with herbs, right? We're just gonna use this as a garnish. When you got your herbs, you're just gonna take them, you're gonna bunch them up, just pinch them, squish them, whatever the hell you gotta do to get them into a nice tight little ball. And then all you do is you just roll your knife through it, just like that. And then look, instant fine chop, beautiful. The most difficult step that we're gonna have in this prep work is this. half a cup of flour. All right, the last thing we gotta do is shred up our cheeses. I'll be honest with you guys, I freestyle this every single time. I don't have exact measurements, so we'll just kind of eyeball it today. First, I got my Gruyere, and I'm just going in for a nice big shred. This is all gonna be melted, so it doesn't matter how big or small we shred this. All right, so this is what we ended up with. We got about 4 ounces of Gruyere, 4 ounces of Colby Jack, and 8 ounces of extra sharp cheddar. Now, we're gonna take 4 ounces of this away because we're gonna top our scalloped potatoes with that afterwards. So in the meantime, all we have to do is just scoop our cheeses up. And you know what comes next? Say it with me. Into the bowl. All right, let's hit the stove. Come on now. All right, so here we are over at the stove. Y'all hear that? A challenger's approaching. All right, so we have officially been challenged by Oatly for the Will It Swap challenge. And basically they want to see if we can use their oat drink to replace the dairy that we originally would have used in this recipe. Now, I don't know if it's going to work personally. I love a little bit of Oatly myself. So we're going to see what the vibes are. We're going to see if it works. Let's dive into the recipe. Come on. All right, so this is everything that we're going to need. We just have our butter, flour, our Oatly. We got our spices, some more flavor going in, and of course our cheese. All right, so we got a nice little stock pot on some medium heat, and I'm going in with a full stick of unsalted butter, and we're just gonna let this bad boy fully melt. Cut that heat down a little bit. We don't want it to burn, and we can even kind of pull it off a little bit just to prevent that burning and let this melt. All right, check me out like a cashier. Our butter is fully melted. Wow, that sounds like a little bell. We got a little bit of bubble action going on. We're going in with half a cup of our flour, and we're just gonna mix this, okay? We wanna mix this, and we wanna get this fully incorporated because we wanna get this to a nice pasty consistency. We wanna make sure that flour is fully in there, and then we're gonna let this cook for like, I don't know, I would say a minute or two. We wanna give it enough time to cook that raw flour flavor out. And basically what we have here, like that show Euphoria, is a roux. All right, so here's where the challenge is fully issued. Take a look at this real quick. As you can see, our roux has cooked down a little bit. It's been about a minute and a half, that raw flour. See what happens when we add this oat drink, okay? This could be dangerous territory here. All right, I'm mixing, we're mixing. Now this should turn into kind of a paste. All right, yeah, this looks familiar to me. We're on a nice low heat, remember that? Okay, so now we just add a little bit more. No, that is not mashed potatoes. Come on, Oatly, let's see you come through. I'm hoping we can get this into a nice consistency for a cheese sauce. Come on. All right, we gotta add a little bit more. Here we go. There's our oat drink. Oh man, I don't know if this is gonna be it, folks. Oh, uh-oh. It's coming together. You see that, Jamar? Look at that. Oh, it's turning into a nice sauce. Let's see if we can get it a little bit thinner. That's looking pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty impressed because this worked literally exactly like normal dairy does, like normal milk. As far as consistency goes with the roux, this is a valid replacement, absolutely. So of course, I'm going in with my Colby Jack, my cheddar, and my Gruyere, and we're just gonna add this all in right now. But it doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Philadelphia, home of the young bulls. We got some Philadelphia cream cheese right here. I got about half a stick, and we're going straight in. And now at this point, all we're gonna do is mix this until everything melts. Now, if this gets too thick, guess who's coming to the rescue? Our Oatly. That way we can thin it out just a little bit and get things moving. Sound the alarm! We've got an issue, ladies and gentlemen. Take a peek real quick. Look, our cheese is fully melted, yes, but it is way too thick to spread over all of our potatoes, right? Like that's gonna make a mess. So again, we're coming through with a little bit of our Oatly. Now keep in mind, the more Oatly we put in here, the more diluted this flavor is gonna be. So that means that we're gonna have to come in here and we're gonna have to hit it with a ton of seasoning and flavor. This looks a lot better. I like that. It's almost like a beautiful thin mac and cheese sauce. Like that's where I want to be. Okay, so now it's time to season, it's time to flavor, it's time to live up to the name of this channel for these scalloped potatoes. Let's go. First and foremost, we're going in with about 35 cranks of some black pepper. All right, next we're gonna go in with some salt. I'm gonna add maybe a tablespoon and a half right now. Next, I've got garlic powder, and I'm gonna go in with about at least a teaspoon or so. I've got my onion powder, about equal parts. I've got my thyme. I wanna add some herbs. Now, normally, check me out real quick. I usually get a garlic herb cream cheese, right? And it's got like thyme and rosemary in it. They're sold out everywhere. So I'm just replacing this with a little bit of thyme. You know the vibes, equal parts smoked paprika. And now we're gonna go in with our Dijon. I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of this in there, and that's just gonna add some depth. And then my dog Frank, this is gonna add some sharpness, a little bit of vinegariness. It's just gonna take this to a different level. I'm gonna do about a tablespoon and a half, and now we mix. All right, so as you can see, this looks like my cheese sauce that I normally make with milk. So the Oatly definitely came through. It does need a little bit more salt though, so I'll start with about 1/4 teaspoon, and then we will just salt till we get it to the level that we like. Okay, so final verdict. I added a little bit more extra sharp cheddar just to like give it a little more of a cheesy flavor because we got a lot going on. But That's special. That over some thinly sliced potato is gonna be amazing. And I have to say, we still have to bake it in the oven. So I don't know if the consistency from the oat drink is gonna make that differ any, but as of right now, this cheese sauce, I can say is a complete swap. Will it swap? The answer is yes, it will. Now let's get over there. Let's shred our potatoes. Let's put this casserole together. Come on. All right, so now we're gonna shred our potatoes up. I've got this set on 1/16 of an inch. And what that's basically gonna do is that is gonna give us some paper thin cuts. Like I can almost see you through this, like potato chip vibe. So we're gonna do all 4 potatoes like that right now. Let's go. I'm just taking a paper towel. I'm just pressing on these to dry them off just a little bit, just because we wanna avoid some of that unnecessary moisture in the final product. This is not a make or break. What is a make or break is these onions though, okay? So what I like to do with these onions is take a little strainer, pour them in, shake, give them a push, because they are gonna hold on to water, and you can even squeeze them. Pull them up, give them a little squeeze, grab some paper towels, scoop them on up, just like that, and then we can wrap them. Onion, bunion, sun, I said wrap them, right? Look, and then what we do is we have those paper towels, and then we just give that a little twist, and bada bing, bada boom. See, these onions they're leaking, popping back into our bowl. And now they are nice and dehydrated. Well, they're not dehydrated, but I mean, look at that. That's so much better than it was. Just one quick squeeze and a paper towel, and we're playing the game, baby. All right, so check it out. I got my dish, my cheese, my potatoes, some more cheese, and my onions. And this is exactly what we're gonna do. Follow me real quick. We're gonna go in, we're gonna take our cheese sauce, right? And then we're just gonna do a nice layer right on the bottom. So once we get it in there, we're just gonna spread it out, get in those corners. Now we don't have to like cover this too crazy because it's all just kind of boil together when it's in there, but this will give us a nice base. Now we're just gonna take our potatoes, and all we do is we just start at the back edge, and we're just gonna layer them all the way down, overlapping just slightly. Now some of these are gonna be smaller than the others, and honestly I probably could have went a little thicker, but whatever, it'll just cook faster. This does not have to be perfect. Nobody's gonna see this. We're just gonna cut into this later, and it's all going to be cohesive, so don't sweat it too much, seriously. All right, as you can see, we have our first layer. It looks good. Then we're gonna come in with some more cheese, and we're just gonna layer that on top. Let's do a couple big spoonfuls. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3 for good luck. And then we're just gonna lightly spread this out over these guys. Now, a lot of people do like a thin sauce when they do this, but I like a cheesy scalloped potato. What do you want me to say? So boom, all right, now we got a nice little layer right here. We go back in with more, no, we don't go back in with more potatoes. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna take our onions, right? Now we're gonna just disperse our onions. We're gonna shake them out all across the top, and this is gonna add little bites of sweet oniony goodness. And then what do you know? We're going right back with our potatoes. We're just gonna lay them right over those onions, just like that. Yeah, I definitely could have did these a little bit thicker, but it's all good. All right, look, you're gonna layer this all the way with all your potatoes until you run out of your potatoes or your sauce or your cheese or whatever it is. I'm not gonna show you all this. I'll be back when we're done. All right, we are layered up. We got our extra sharp cheddar on top with that parsley, about 6 to 7 layers of those thinly sliced potatoes. We're going in at 375, and we're going for 45 minutes. It should take absolutely no longer than that because everything is cut so thin. It's gonna be amazing. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, our scalloped potatoes have come out of the oven and they are hotter than hell. Listen, you wanna give any casserole or your scalloped potatoes like 20 minutes to cool off and let all those flavors and moisture get reabsorbed into the potatoes themselves. We got this cooled off. We're gonna give it a try here and see if the Oatly cheese sauce held up in the recipe. So here we go, 3, 2, 1. Bro. The longer this sits, the better it's gonna get, and it's already fire. Cheese level, amazing. Those potatoes, soft. The onions just fall apart in your mouth. They add a punch of sweetness. This right here, y'all want a Thanksgiving side dish? It's this one right here. And low key, shout out to Oatly. The Will It Swap challenge was passed. They did a great job. It held up. The cheese sauce came out amazing. The final product is amazing. I can tell no difference between this and when I use regular milk. So shout out to Oatly for that. So listen, on a star scale, come on, scalloped potatoes, this is, I give it a 4.8. I think that there's something that we can add to this to make it a 5. Cause like I eat it and I'm like, I love it. I would change nothing, but I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks that I can make this in the future better, by adding something else, maybe a little bacon in between. Hey, who knows? We'll try it later on. Hey, my name is Farnum. This is More Seasoning. Please, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment down in the section. And listen, the Oatly Will It Swap Challenge was passed. If you want to see some other dope videos on the Will It Swap Challenge, please scroll down to the description. I got a link in there. They got a whole playlist of dope recipes. Appreciate y'all for watching. We out.